I've learned an enormous amount just from the shows that I've been in with KWP, and I probably wouldn't be able to do that anyplace else. One thing that's wonderful about St. John's is that the students so love to have their tutors involved in their shows that I get all the best parts and I don't even have to be any good. You know, I can be Falstaff and probably some student would have done it better, but I get a free pass for that. Or Bottom the Weaver. Those things were just sheer fun. When we did Midsummer, this was back in the 80s, it was a star-studded cast. John White was Wall, Peter Kalkavage was Flute the Bellows Mender, alias Thisbe. Brother Robert was the Lion. Will Williamson was Theseus. Our Peter Quince was a splendid old veteran of the British stage who was now one of the most venerable tutors in the faculty, named Hugh McGraw. He had a huge voice and a classy British accent. Probably set some kind of a record for the most tutors that have ever been in a student production. And one thing that I really like about acting in Shakespeare plays is that as a reader, you can sort of hold in suspension a number of different and mutually irreconcilable possibilities for ways of reading, permanent ambiguities that are in the text. But it's often very hard to preserve ambiguity when you're in performance. You have to do it one way or the other way because you have to do it some way. That's not a choice that a critic has to make, but the actor has to choose. And you always learn from that, even if you do it differently from the way you yourself would want to do it. But you know, any reading that you do of a play like that is always incomplete. That's the way it works. You can see 4 or 5 different interpretations on the stage, all of which have some truth to them, and all of which take a different route into the play. That just shows you what it means for a text to be an open text, in Umberto Eco's words, and that the great texts are almost always open texts.